BlackRock's Larry Fink wasted no time. His first message as the new head of the World Economic Forum was chilling. Those who resist the global agenda will be eliminated. The Klaus Schwab years were just a rehearsal. Now, the script has changed. The globalists believe too many have failed to comply, so they're shifting into what they call the enforcement phase. And who better to lead it than the man behind BlackRock, the trillion-dollar titan that already shapes the world's markets and governments. The union of BlackRock and the WEF isn't just strategy, it's escalation, a warning shot to the world. Because make no mistake, the WEF didn't die when Klaus Schwab stepped down, it evolved. And what comes next will decide who survives and who doesn't. Before we dive in, a quick word about our partner VP.net, the next generation of private browsing. VP.net is the only VPN designed with true zero-logging architecture. That means, unlike other VPNs, it literally can't track you. So even if governments or bad actors come knocking, there's nothing to hand over. It's that simple. Your data stays yours, period. This week, the message from the globalists couldn't be louder. BlackRock plus the WEF equals total control. They're celebrating as the world's largest asset manager, famous for forcing behaviours into green compliance and globalist obedience, has merged with the very forum that engineers their dystopian blueprints.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change.
Schwab's WF tried to pressure you into compliance. Fink's WF will leave you no choice. In their vision, national sovereignty is finished. Borders obsolete. Even the United States, once so proud, will soon learn its place. It will kneel, it will grovel, and it will obey.
An update on the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab stepped down. We had the Nestle guy who believed that water wasn't a human right. He stepped in as the co-chair, and now he's gone. We have somebody else moving in there. The world's largest asset manager is BlackRock, and this is Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock and manages almost $12 trillion of assets in 2024. And where does he point those assets? Where does he wield his power? Well, this is just one interview with Larry Fink. Take a listen.
The faster that we could find ways to mitigating the rising temperatures, I would say the more just society could be. And so to me, it's we don't have much time. We need to be learning about these the new technologies and how to move forward. And we need to then inform our investors ultimately where we think the next opportunities are going to be too. And as Bill in his book wrote about, we need to employ $50 trillion to get to a green world.
$50 trillion of taxpayer money towards an absolute disastrous hoax that only makes us richer. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, Jeffrey? We just have the guy that is managing probably your home loan, your bank account, your automobile company that built your cars. I mean, BlackRock has got its fingers in everything, and now he's just the head of the WEF. What could possibly go wrong?
Gates is laughing like a hyena because he and Fink are singing from the same satanic hymn sheets. The next phase in their plan is depopulation, reducing the world to a manageable size and stripping away the entire populations under the banner of sustainability. To them, fewer people means fewer problems, and absolute power over whoever remains. Here is Fink singing the praises of depopulation and eugenics.
And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Welcome to the New World Order ESG slave grid, where every purchase, every moment, every decision will be tracked, scored, and judged. Under the banner of sustainability and equity, they are building a digital cage, one that rewards obedience and punishes dissent, by replacing you with a machine.
I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations. Okay, that's something that most people never talked about. You know, we always used to think shrinking population is a cause for negative growth. But in my conversations with the leadership of these large developed countries that have xenophobic immigration policies, they don't allow anybody to come in. shrinking unemployment, shrinking demographics, these countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology. And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. And so the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing.
Don't underestimate how far they're willing to go to achieve their agenda. Assassinate a sitting president of a democratic nation? They've already taken out over half a dozen leaders who opposed Big Pharma's COVID vaccine rollout. And don't forget, both wannabe Trump assassins appeared in BlackRock commercials in the year before their failed attempts on Trump's life. Seriously, what are the chances? I'd put the odds at about 12 trillion to 1. Coincidentally, that's the exact sum Larry Fink commands through BlackRock, $11 trillion. More wealth than the GDP of every nation on Earth, except the United States and China. And according to Fink, BlackRock and the WF's power will soon dwarf even the economies of the United States and China. Why? Because sovereignty is dead, borders are obsolete, and only globalist rules apply now. And if you dare to stand in the way of the elite's dream of becoming gods, they won't just silence you, they'll erase you. Think that sounds like an exaggeration? They've said it themselves on record. Yuval Noah Harari has dressed it up in sophistry, layering his words with philosophy and futurism. But the message is always the same. Humanity must be reduced, managed, controlled. And then there was the other WF ghoul, the one who dropped the mask entirely. No flowery language, just a psychopathic rant so unhinged it nearly broke him in front of the cameras.
We are going to become gods. Period. If you don't like it, get off. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to participate. But if you're going to interfere with me becoming God, you're going to have big trouble. And we'll have warfare. The only way you can prevent me in this 50 or is to kill me. If you kill me, I'll kill you.
That was only a glimpse of the raw contempt these people will hold for the rest of us. The truth is, the WF never disappeared. They were regrouping, and now they're back, with a new playbook, sharper teeth, and more ruthless intent than ever before. This time, it's not about persuasion, it's not about pressure, it's about force. With Larry Fink's BlackRock as the engine of control, the enforcement phase is no longer speculation. It's about to invade every corner of your daily life. And we've uncovered what's next. If you thought their earlier schemes were extreme, what lies ahead will shake you to your core. Those insane prices you've been feeling at the pump, in the grocery store, at the checkout line, this isn't an accident. It isn't bad luck, it's policy. BlackRock's policy. By design, they've been driving costs higher and higher, making everyday necessities unbearable for ordinary people. Why? To break you, to force you to change your behavior, to make you trade freedom for sustainability, sovereignty for compliance. And here's the part most people don't realize. This is only the beginning. If you think it's bad now, wait till you see what BlackRock and the WF have planned next. First on the chopping block, private car ownership. According to them, you can walk or share. After all, in your neat little 15-minute city, why would you need a car at all? And travel? Forget freedom of movement, you'll need permission. And let's be honest, a troublemaker like you, with your growing list of thought crimes, won't be granted clearance to leave your block. Ever. Think I'm exaggerating? Think again. But it gets even worse. Emboldened by their new power, they're no longer satisfied with driving up the price of protein. Now, they're coming for the world's staple foods. Rice, the cheap, reliable source of nutrition that feeds half of the planet, is being lined up for the same treatment. The goal? To push it out of reach, to make even the most basic necessities unaffordable, BlackRock style.
What we have is an existential climate crisis. We've talked about methane. Methane from flaring is known, but rice paddy cultivation, waste management, and dairy husbandry can help you enormously with combating methane. Methane is 80 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide. It gets only 2% of climate financing today. We have a misalignment with what we need to focus on. We're talking about working with 15 countries and taking out 10 million tons of methane by focusing on rice paddy, on animal and dairy, and on waste management.
Did you catch that? Carbon is no longer the WF's only monster under the bed. Now they've unveiled a brand new manufactured villain, methane. And what a coincidence, it just so happens they'll need trillions more in taxpayer funds to fight this latest existential threat. It sounds like a lot of hot air to me. Let's be honest, the only thing methane is fueling here is their next cash grab. Because when it comes to the global elite, the only thing that excites them more than inventing another manufactured crisis is the chance to sadistically crush the spirit of ordinary people. Don't take my word for it. A WF insider openly admitted the push to make humanity eat bugs is designed, in their words, to crush the human soul. And it doesn't stop there. Now, the WF has declared war on coffee, branding drinkers as culprits of so-called global boiling. Their solution? Coffee drinkers must be stopped at all costs. According to their own projections, in the future you won't be enjoying a daily cup of joe. You'll be rationed to just 2 or 3 cups per year. Here's Swiss banker and WF Agenda contributor Hubert Keller with the bad news.
We'll be having our coffee before the session, and you raised the coffee example. I'd love just to give you the chance to expand on that.
Basically, the coffee that we all drink emits between 15 and 20 tons of CO2 per ton of coffee. So we should all know that this is, every time we drink coffee, we are basically putting CO2 into the atmosphere. One of the reasons is because most of the coffee plantation, or most of the coffee is produced through monoculture, and monoculture is also affected by climate change. The quality of these nature assets is deteriorating quite rapidly.
The criminally insane have taken over the asylum, literally. They've handed a boardroom seat to none other than Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about who's running this show, nothing will. And that leaves us with a choice. Sit back and watch the madness spread, or take back control before it's too late. Australian Senator Malcolm Roberts calls it the Great Resist.
Klaus Schwab's life by subscription, quote, is really serfdom. It's slavery. Billionaire globalist corporations will own everything: homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture. And everyday citizens will rent what they need, if their social credit score allows. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. The Great Resist. We stand for a world where individuals and communities have primacy over predatory globalist billionaires and their quizzling bureaucrats, politicians and mouthpiece media. One Nation accepts the challenge to provide a better future for everyday Australians. We have one flag, we are one community, and we are one nation.
Clearly, the globalist elite have earmarked these times to usher in the long-threatened New World Order, with its false promises of climate science, depopulation and eugenics. But thanks to people like yourself, the masses are beginning to wake up to reality. Wanted posters are spreading throughout Europe, demanding the arrest of Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Anthony Fauci and other globalist architects for crimes against humanity. It's a start, a spark, but the fight is far from over. There is so much more work to be done. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do it without you.